Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to explain it, since I think even though you're doing 3 or 4 subjects at A level and at GCSEs you are doing what I think I did 10. I think it's now getting those 10 subjects to fit 3 A levels. So each subject for me is going to be equivalent to be doing more than 3 GCSEs. And I think it's actually going to be even more than
Yeah.
that because the jump between GCSEs and A levels, how it's been described to me and how I'm thinking about it, just looking at just the curriculum compared to, like, I remember looking at our philosophy curriculum, comparing that to our religious studies curriculum for GCSEs, and the A levels so much bigger. The topics are much broader, and it allows you to not only have more original thoughts and lets you actually, what I would say, learn, which is what we've talked about previously on older podcasts, is that we think GCSEs are almost just a memorizing test. But here you're actually thinking somewhat original thoughts. You have to analyze in much more depth. And I think with all of that combined together, it's going to be, it's much more. And I think the workload is much more currently. And I think it will only pick up from here.
Are you nervous about it? Are you excited?
I'd say I'm excited. I mean, the subjects I do, politics, philosophy, and history, are 3 subjects that I enjoy. Um, so I'm excited in the sense I want to learn about them. So today in politics, we were looking at Liz Truss's speech because it was live whilst we were in the lesson when she was speaking to the at the conference in Birmingham to the Conservative Party followers, supporters, and quite a few of her cabinet ministers were there. So I think from that point of view, I think it's really interesting. And I think I'm just excited about the challenge, if that makes sense. And I think there needs to be a challenge in order for you to get excited. And it's like if you were to do literally anything, let's say play a football game, if there's no challenge by the opposition, if they're literally letting you score every opportunity possible, I feel as if then there's no point on winning. And you want that challenge in order to succeed, but you also want that challenge to let you fail. And people say, I'm probably going to misquote this or paraphrase it, but I think it's if you haven't failed at something, you're not trying hard enough. And I think that quote rings true. And I think A levels for me will be a challenge. And I think they should be a challenge for everyone. Obviously, there's some people who can just breeze past certain things. So, like, there are people in our year group who can literally do maths A level papers in year 10 and year 11. But the other A levels will still be a challenge to them, but it's now becoming more mature since you have more independent study time. It's now about what you're going to do with that. And I think with that all amalgamated together, it will create it would create good.
It's interesting because I would say that I actually somewhat disagree with the fact that there are people in our year who can breeze past. Because I think if they are breezing past, I don't think they're learning. And I think A levels is more about the actual subject that you do, but it's about the way you learn. And I think sort of if they're going to be in the position where when they come out of school and they are faced with a world that realistically does not care about you, let's be real, if they don't know how to learn, they don't actually know how to adapt when they are eventually facing a situation where they cannot just breeze past. That's the problem. And I think
Yeah.
what our school has done to try and combat that in our school diploma system, where we have, an extended, so the EPQ, an extended research project. We have a few elective courses. So this is courses outside of our curriculum. We have enhancement, which is essentially going beyond our A level curriculum in one specific subject that ideally we'd want to take at university. We have community service, and we have this thing called the visiting speaker program. So Anyway, do you wanna explain how the visiting speaker program has sort of, I don't know, has it benefited you in the early stages, or what's been your relationship with it so far? And
So I think
before you do that, I'll just explain. So basically, our school gets 4 different subjects per week, and you get to choose which one you want to go to. Ideally, if one of your A-level subjects is on there, you go to that, and then a speaker from external, who either
all
used to
internal.
or internal.
There's lots of society student-led
Yeah.
ones, which are
Yeah.
quite good.
So the speakers, they will talk about their subject, they'll talk about how it's impacted them, how they've gone through life knowing about that subject. So what's your relationship been?
So we've only done it for now 3 weeks,
Oh,
I
I think
believe.
this has
Yeah,
been the third week, yeah.
yeah, been the third one. And
Well, no,
actually
it's been the
fourth
fourth
one
one. Yeah,
technically.
fourth,
Fourth
fourth.
one technically. And so far they're very interesting, especially the external speakers I find. I think often they repeat the same message, and that is do something original, do something you enjoy and you're passionate about, and only then, and once you work hard at something you're passionate about, success will follow. And um, so I think from that point of view, I think they've been really beneficial. None of my A-level subjects have come up yet,
Mm,
so I can't give you like an academic view on them so far. But I think in terms of just in terms of not giving you hope, but actually, yeah, giving you hope about the future, giving you a sense of optimism, looking forward to something once A levels are done. I think it will be very beneficial because I think people have this conception that A levels are difficult, and they are. I mean, my mom said they're the hardest exams you'll ever sit in your life. They're going to be harder than your degree. They'll be harder than literally everything in terms of just purely sitting down and studying. And I think once you've passed that step, you don't often look particularly optimistic about the future. And I think
mm.
these speakers coming in talking about real life experiences, whether they work at a small firm or the CEO of some company, I think they always repeat the same message, and that is just purely do what you enjoy. And yeah.